suppose I'm moved by this absurd performance.
Listen, I'm a big fan of both of your work. It's really cool to get to talk to you in Cannes. I have 10 minutes, so I have a lot of questions. I'm going to start with the most important thing. When did you decide you wanted to be in every movie at Cannes this year?
Yeah, it was just, I guess I decided at the same time because I shot both of these films within the same few months. I was working on Spike's film, and we were to do this Wes's film that fall, but because of the writer's strike, was it the writer's strike, or
it got pushed? Or
it
something.
got pushed because of that, or what?
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. And so I ended up getting a couple of weeks off while working on Spike's film to, run off and to Westland and do this. So I guess it all, kind of happened at the same time. I think I'm probably, safe to say, the only actor here who's in a Wes Anderson and Spike Lee movie.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'm 100% sure.
100%. It may be in the history of cinema.
So I'm obsessed with watching movies in movie theaters, not on your phone. I think the movie theater is a sacred place. And I'm just curious for both of you, do you have a favorite movie theater?
Oh my gosh. I mean, back in England, I loved the kind of, I don't live there anymore, but the smaller, like the Curzon chain, the Picture House chain, they program really well. The screen is great and all of that, and you don't tend to have quite so many people sort of throwing popcorn or, as you said, there's something sacred about sitting, as I heard someone once describe the definition of a movie, in the dark with strangers and the inability to pause it. That is just what cinema is. It's not to be done in between something else. It's like, so I agree with you, and thank you for saying that.
Me, favorite movie theater. Tend to go with my kids now, and they love it, it's really the nearest cinema to our house in Brooklyn's the Alamo Draft House.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
because it's we sit and have a meal together, and I think because of the experiences with them, it's become my favorite. That said, the first time I was here with a film was with Asteroid City, and the experience of watching of screening a film with the audience here at the Palais was absolutely unique. I don't think I'd ever had an experience where I felt such a sense of genuine appreciation for what we had done, but there was a larger sense of appreciation that was palpable just for creativity and for cinema, but there was something so warm about that. This place, and I'd forgotten, as soon as you get out of the airport, it's madhouse. This is a circus here.
Yeah.
But when you kind of carve through all of that and you get to the heart of it, inside of that space, inside of that cinema, it's really something very genuine and pure. And it really is super, super rare.
They love the art form here. Like it's just another level.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone gets dressed up and wears a tux. And they treat the art form with a respect that a lot of the rest of the world doesn't.
Yes, they do.
Yes. It's amazing. As Jeffrey said, that feeling of the love of cinema, you sort of feel it oozing everywhere here in a way that not necessarily true elsewhere.
I definitely want to touch on, I'm a huge fan of Wes's work. And the thing about Wes is he's such a unique filmmaker with the way actors deliver dialogue, with the camera moves, with every aspect of his film is a Wes movie. And I'm just curious as actors, what is it like before you step on set, knowing that it's going to be a very, it's a very particular thing he's looking for. So as an actor, what is it like preparing for that?
The first time I worked with Wes was on The French Dispatch, and I remember, thankfully, somebody warning me that he did quite a few takes and not to take it personally. And I was like, I was very hubristic and said, I don't need many takes. I'm normally get it in a few, but thanks for the warning. Take 45 rolled around, and I was shaking. I was like, I'm so sorry. What have I done? What have I done? And he was like, no. I just changed this little thing there, and I changed this little thing there. It's going very well. That is a comma, not a semicolon in the middle of that sentence. And you go, yeah, God, right. So there's a sort of, what I love about it is I feel like I'm striving to get something that he's already seen in his mind. And if I can get it, it just ignites, and he loves it and I love it, and it's like, okay, we found it. But it can be quite a interesting and very detail-oriented process to arrive at that.
Yeah, I think for some people, it might feel confining, the way that Wes works. And I've talked to some people who, it's a challenge, and it's a challenge for all of us to achieve what he wants. But what I love is that he sets these kind of aesthetic parameters, and it's a very specific thing. It's as you say, Wes is a genre unto himself. But within that, there's an opportunity for a kind of creative freedom that you can nestle into. That's really very gratifying. I mean, no matter who you're working with, what you're doing, what style of film you're doing, there are parameters. There's a frame that you have to work within, and your job is to find the freedom within that. And so it's the same with his style of filmmaking, but there's a very specific frame that you're living inside of. I love that he's his own thing. I love that he's nonconformist. I love that he doesn't give a shit he doesn't give a shit about what anybody else is doing. He's doing his thing, and I also absolutely adore about the way that he works is his respect for the comma. And
yes.
The specificity of his language, it just, for me personally, is something I really groove to. It feeds me a lot of information, off of the page that I can work with. And so I find a great deal of touchstones that allow me, even within what might seem like these, very specific parameters to find a bit of freedom.
Yeah, it's so interesting that Wes does so many takes, yet no one really talks about it the way that Fincher gets talked about. How Fincher does so many takes, but Wes is never mentioned in that same sentence, but he does so many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
It's very interesting to me.
We did an insert once for Asteroid City. It's the simplest thing. It was literally my hand flipping up a holster flap and grabbing a pistol. That was it. I think we might have done that 60 times over the course of 4 hours until we finally found the solution. And the solution was to have our prop guy stand to my left. The camera was to my right, so he couldn't be seen. He kind of, shrank himself, and he reached around above the frame, and as I lifted the holster, he held up the flap so that it could be a clear shot. And we're doing this literally over like 4 hours, and we were so intent on finding the solution. Everybody was like, "How do we crack this equation?" And ultimately, we did, and then we got to go home and eat. But
to add to that, I love the amount of old school, sometimes theatrical trickery that Wes employs. I remember doing The Swan, one of the Roald Dahl short films, and to get the sense of a train going over my head, there was a bicycle wheel with zip ties hanging off it, and someone turning it like. There's no like, we'll fix it in post, we'll get a special effects guy. It was that analog, that rudimentary, and that wonderful.
So good.
And the detail orientation of this of this man to spend that long on one insert when many people would say, I'll just do that later with someone else. It's like, no, it has to be this character's way of doing it. That's what I think makes the film so extraordinary.
That's why he's an auteur, and I love his movies.
Yeah, man.
Have a fantastic day.
You
Thank
too.
you very much.